Okay. Testing. 1, 2, 3. If the stream goes off, if it disappears, then that means she's either cut the power or somehow gotten in to stop it. I need to start from the very beginning. In 2012, I met Lux online. I met her over Facebook through just basic cringe RP shit. We talked and we got along for years. We ended up dating long distance for about 4 years, starting back in 2012. I was 14 at the time, she was 16. About 4 years after that, I turned 18 and I had my own family shit that happened. I've never really gone too deep into it. I've never really talked much about it. But the gist of it is that I come from an extremely abusive background. Very violent background. And after I found my way out of that, it was pretty much set in stone that I no longer had a physical family. So, this started when I was 16, actually, so let's back up 2 years. When I was 16, all of this happened. I got out and I decided that I needed to finish high school on my own. So I rented out a room from this guy that I worked with, and I worked 2 different jobs to pay rent and continue going to school until I graduated high school. After that, I moved cities to go work at a car dealership. And at the car dealership, I was renting from another guy who I found on Craigslist who rented me this shack on the back of his property for dirt cheap since I could only work at a car dealership and fucking McDonald's. Hold on. So, I was getting by on major depression just with the idea of Lux. The fact that we'd been together for years and years. Even long distance, things looked better because in my mind, at some point, one of us was going to move to the other side of the planet to be with the other, as things should be. After working for 2 years, I got a big tax return because that's what happens in the States. It's complicated. I ended up with a lump sum of money from taxes that I didn't have to pay. I used that money to clear out paperwork, get a passport, and basically throw my entire life into the Philippines. So I left everything behind. I didn't have any family back there. I didn't have any friends. It was a dead end job. Living on a shack. I said, fuck it. I'm done with this life. I'll move to the Philippines for her. So I did. Her father had recently passed, and using some insurance money, they were able to get me the plane tickets. I took care of the paperwork, they took care of the tickets. When I got there, I immediately found an online job and started working for $2 an hour at an online call center. That was probably the happiest I'd ever been in my life. And I'm sorry if I fuck up here, but I spent the next few years working that same job, living with Lux and her family, and effectively doing my best to provide for her and them. I put so much effort and work into my job. I moved from $2 an hour up to fucking, God, I think it was 10 at the time. This was back in 2018, or I'm sorry, 2016. And as that converts here in the Philippines, I was making a decent amount of money. Not rich, but nothing to laugh at. So while her mom didn't work, Lux didn't work, her brother didn't work, I was the only one in the house working. They lived off her mom's pension and the remainder of the insurance money. I used my money to pay her family back for the plane ticket. So that was about 40,000 pesos, which, oh, fuck, I want to do the conversion. P to USD, about a little over $700. A little over $700 I paid back to them and continued paying the vast majority of the rent on the houses we'd moved to. I would take them out to eat some movies. I loved her and I wanted to take care of her family as well. They moved in two of her cousins, who one was an elementary school kid and the other didn't have a job. So that was two more mouths to feed in the house with nobody except for me with a job. Lux was still in college at the time. And it was about that time where I proposed to Lux for the first time. And she turned me down, saying that I had only been here for about a year and she was still in school, so she wasn't ready, which is fair. I get that. So I took it back and things went on as they were. She graduated school with a bachelor's in computer science from Ateneo de Davao, one of the most prestigious schools in this area. I helped her with her job hunt. She's extremely she has extreme social anxiety, and during her job hunt she needed me to go with her to the interviews. I wouldn't go into the room with her, but I'd wait in the lobby and walk there with her to keep her company and keep her calm. She got a job at a place that made software for medical instruments. And the day that she went for her first day, she quit. Because on lunch break, there were coworkers I guess she knew from school that she didn't want to talk to. So she just quit. And at that point, I told her, okay, so maybe this isn't for you. By the way, my OBS is so fucked. I can't tell if things are still going. If you guys could just type periods in the chat or something so I know that the stream is still running and I haven't been cut off, I'd appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. So she couldn't handle going out to jobs like that. So I told her, okay, look, you've spent years drawing. She used to run an Ask blog. And so I told her, you know, how about this? Why don't you draw fan arts, maybe do lewd fan arts, and see if you can make a career out of that since you like doing art anyways? And she did. And it was probably the fastest success I'd ever seen her go. she blew up immediately. I helped her get a Patreon set up, and things went extremely well. It only took a couple months. Oh, fuck off. It only took a couple months before she was actually out earning me, which was fucking great. A little bit past that, I fucked up. In complete transparency here, I'm not going to try to lie to anyone. I'm going to say everything that happened as it happened, all of it, warts and all. Lux and I met through RP. We'd met through Facebook RP groups. And that was something that I used to do as an escape, as a hobby. And things were going great with us, but not as great as they could have been. My proposal was rejected. They were living off my income. I had no savings whatsoever. I couldn't save anything. Her family had moved more extended family up from Manila down into our house. We didn't even have a room to ourselves. I wasn't allowed to sleep in the same room as her. So they rented me this closet type thing upstairs to sleep in. So obviously that was dead. And here's where I need to be completely honest. I made one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I got back into RP as an escape, and I got way too close with somebody that I'd been RPing with. I'm not going to argue if it was cheating or not. I consider that it was. We had talked, it was more than RP, it was 100% on me what I did. Of course, things came out. We had a huge fight over it. I say fight, but it wasn't even a fight. I knew I'd fucked up. I didn't try to fight about it. And I was at the point where I realized just how badly I fucked up. I gave her full transparency. I showed her everything that had happened, every private DM, and I told her, look, everything's an open book now. I am done hiding anything. This is something that I want for my future. This is the thing that I think will give me a life that I want. I want to make this work. And in that, she came clean to me as well. That she had been doing something similar with one of the original people who had become a patron to her channel. That she had been sending messages to him specifically to help get him off in the moment. And that's all that she would admit to doing. So I thought, okay, fair. We both fucked up. We're both human. Here's full transparency. If we're going to work past this, we need to be open and clear about it. She'd already nuked everything. There was no evidence. There was, well, the guy still existed. He was still a patron. He admitted to it. But all of the chat logs were deleted, gone. There was nothing I could see. So I operated off of her word alone that that was it. That was the extent of it. That's all. And so we agreed to a clean slate policy where, seeing as both of us had made major fuck ups, that we wouldn't hold it against each other and we would try our best to do everything right in the future, and that we would come clean. So that was, I want to say 2017 or 2018. We've gone through a lot since then, especially with her family. People who live in the US and who grew up and who were raised there, like I was, we're taught about racism in a weirdly America centric point of view. And now being on the other side, I can say that there is no racism like fucking Asian racism. Holy shit. The moment I met her uncles at, I don't fucking remember what it was, some party they had that she drugged me to, they began questioning me on why I was running from the FBI, who I'd killed back in the States, why I needed to flee to the Philippines. Not joking. I thought it was a joke at first. No. They genuinely didn't like me. And this was confirmed later when Lux had a breakdown reading the family group chat where a ton of her aunts and uncles, and I guess her cousins as well, were effectively talking shit about her and about our relationship. Keep in mind, none of them knew about the whole the RP or cheating thing. This was just about us. So while she was breaking down and crying about it, I comforted her. Her mom stepped in and started comforting her. So I jumped on the group chat and I wrote out a paragraph. And I explained to them, no, I'm not running from the police. I came here because I loved her. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. I'd give up anything and everything for her. Nothing like that is happening here. We just want what's best for each other. And holy fucking shit. All I'd asked is that they just talk to us, not try to spread rumors, but just talk to us. If they'd have questions, we'd be glad to talk with them and talk about our experiences. Fucking brimstone and hellfire. How fucking dare I speak back to the elders of the family? So that was a huge can of bullshit. And of course, immediately, Lux jumped on her family's side. That I should never talk back to them. If they want to depress her like that, that I should just let them. Keep in mind, I didn't rip into them or anything. I didn't even say anything negative at all. I did everything in my power to be as passive and welcoming as I could. Because I did want to get along with her family. Not good enough. I need to never disagree with them. And the only way to make things right is to formally apologize in person. So a couple months go by, and I refuse. I'm stubborn as hell. I told her, that's bullshit. I don't agree with that. I'm not going to let people do that to you just for no fucking reason. And then apologize to them for defending you. Eventually, it broke down to the point where she said that a cousin was having a birthday party in the city coming up, and that I should go there with her and the family and apologize in person. And if I did, then the head onto the family would apologize to us as well for what they did. And I thought, you know what? That's not fair, but fuck it. Shit is different here. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe I'm the one wrong here. If this is what it takes to call an end to it, then I'll do it. So we get there, and we meet all of the aunts and uncles, and we find the head aunt. And I get down and I apologize to her. I tell her that I'm sorry for stepping in and that it wasn't my place to do so. She says that after the party, she'll come by our house to talk to me about it. So we go home. She comes over, and she effectively laughs in my face, saying that she doesn't accept my apology and that I need to be better. And of course, Lux and her mom are right at her feet for it. So I'm fucking flabbergasted at this point. What the fuck is happening? So I make it clear that I want nothing to do with them. We never see them anyways. Most of them live on the other side of the country. We never interact with them. I'm just not going to go to birthday parties, I guess. And of course, that was a cardinal sin. How dare I? So, fast forward a few years, and now I have the stigma of being the evil guy who wedges Lux away from her family. That's what I'm known as, even among her and her mom. A couple years later, her brother knocks up his girlfriend. She gets pregnant, and of course, they need to get married now. But we lived in the big city, and his girlfriend's family lived in a smaller town. So, of course, logically speaking, the entirety of us needs to pack up our shit and move to this small bumfuck nowhere town. So, of course, that's what we do. And of course, when we get there, fucking shocker, the house that they chose without me has no internet connection. So I can't work. The only way we can have an internet connection is by a mobile hotspot, which drops out regularly. Meaning, if I'm working and I'm on work calls, I'm just randomly dropping out. So I end up getting weaned off and lose my job. So all of my income, all of my fucking all of it, anything that I can call my own is gone now. And I'm fine with it. We're at the point now with Alexa's Patreon that she's self sustainable. We're able to comfortably live on it month to month. And while shit still sucks that we don't have a huge burst of income, it's manageable. And I know there are some people out there who get jealous of their significant other, or they feel emasculated or less than if they make less money. I don't give a shit. It's not my money versus her money. It's our family. It's us. You know? That's how it should be. So I do everything in my power to help bolster her even more. We eventually moved out of that place to another apartment, just the two of us. We're not living with her mom anymore. We're not living with her brother, her cousins. It's just. Hold on, my cat. Get up. It's just Lux and I and our cats. Some of our cats. Because our apartment is so small, we can't afford to have all of them living with us. So her mom takes care of some of them. Her mom's living off her pension, which is enough to get by for an elderly person in the Philippines. It's not extravagant, but she's always been resourceful on her means. She grew up in a not great spot, so, she's fine. So, at about this time, she started asking us for money, which was, whatever. Actually, no, I didn't lose my job yet at this point because I was still making some money. This was in the process of getting weaned off. So while I wasn't working as much as I could have, I was still making some money at this point. She'd asked us to borrow some money, and Lux had spent all of her months already. I still had some of mine left over, so I said, okay, she's your mom, she needs groceries, she needs electricity and water running into her house. Let's loan her some money. We give her the money, and we go over there the next day to find that she spent all of it on beer, wine, and cigarettes. So I think, understandably upset that I loaned her thousands for groceries and to keep her safe, and she blew it all on alcohol and cigarettes. So we're over there and we're arguing with her about it, and I pick up a pack of cigarettes off the table, and I tell her that I'm not loaning her money anymore if this is what she's going to spend it on. So she starts yelling at Lux and starts hitting her. Not spanking or anything, just full on flailing in her face. She's drunk. So I step in between them and I take the hits for her. Her mom doesn't stop, she keeps going, and I just take the hits. She's done hitting me, so she walks over to one of the litter boxes, scoops some out, and smears cat shit on my face. So I'm ready to leave at this point. So I wash myself off in the sink, and I'm standing outside in the rain, waiting for Lux to finish talking to her mom, and I'm just ready to fucking go home and be done with it. We get home, and that's about it. That's about as far as we got. We get home, and she starts talking to me about the plan to forgive her mom, about how we need to make things right with her. And again, I was just fucking assaulted and had cat shit smeared on my face. I'm not ready to fucking talk about forgiveness right now. But she doesn't relent. So we end up agreeing that we would talk to her the next day and that I'd forgive her as long as I don't loan her money anymore. Period. We're done with that. Hold on. So she comes over and we talk to her, and she basically, Lux forces her to actually say the word sorry to me. And I'm done arguing with it at this point. I'm done jumping through all of these hoops with her family, so I just want to get it over with. I take it and I say, okay, fine, but we're not loaning you money anymore. Go. So, by chance, I needed to step out of the house for a little bit. So, I leave her and Lux at the house for about half an hour. I come back and the mom is leaving, and she's lent her more money. I was gone for half an hour, and we're already done with whatever I had. Any concessions we made, gone. Any agreements we had, gone. So I'm just fucking done with it at that point. I can't even go over all of the leagues and leagues of shit that I've dealt with between her and her family over the years, the hoops that I've jumped through to make things work, because in the end, that's been the goal. This is the life I chose. This is where I wanted my life to end up. This is the hand I'm dealt. I need to figure out how to smooth it out, how to make things work, how to just exist and get along. You know? So at this point, I'm still looking for. Well, let's jump forward a few years. Things have been happening. We're living in a better place now in this small town. We're still looking for things for me to do. I'm trying to find work. I did find another call center job. It ended up being some Chinese property rental scam bullshit, so I fucking yeeted out of that. Which she was mad at me for yeeting out of it because I wasn't comfortable doing that and being called racial slurs every time I picked up the phone. So I needed to find another form of income. And I had started streaming around that time. I'd been doing voice actor things, I'd been doing streaming things, and while I was managing her art, we had the idea of setting up a large massive collab stream with a bunch of different artists. That's where I met Asakyu. That's where I met Nano, Milia, um, fucking Yiru, a bunch of people. And the stream went pretty well. A lot of them started drawing. I was just there to chat and keep, talks going. And towards the end of it, people were dropping off because they had to go do things, they got tired, and it ended up being mostly Yiru, Milia, and I talking. And we decided, hey, this is going super well, we should do this more. So we got the idea to make a group. Originally, it was going to be a sort of interview thing where we would bring on guest artists to the stream to just chat, interview them, sort of like what we'd done in that stream. God, the fucking name was, I want to say Edocast, something like that. As we did our planning, we talked more about it. I talked more about it to Lux, and she was interested in expanding it. So I was open to the idea. Fucking sure, let's do it. Instead of doing an interview type podcast thing, why not just make a VTuber group? This was around the time. This was late, or no, I'm sorry, early 2020. Yeah, early 2020, I think. No, early 2021, my bad. Where VTubers have been getting really popular lately, and I figured, fuck it. We've got plenty of people here. Let's just do that. A couple people dropped out along the way in planning, but it ended up being the five of us: myself, Lux, Nano, Melia, and Bad. Bad I met through Melia, Nano I met through Lux, Melia I met through the collab stream. So Lux really wanted to be a part of that. I said, fuck it, let's do it. And that's what we built up. Since then, I haven't had any actual steady work. In my mind, building the group has been my work. Managing it, taking care of things behind the scenes, dealing with shitheads, fucking sexist douchebags like Mosobox. Dealing with that is what my role was. The way I saw it was that when I had a stable job, I supported Lux and I supported her family. All four of them that had moved in with us. Her art career started with nothing. And I said, fuck it. Don't bother getting a job with your degree. Just focus on building what you want to do. You like doing this, build something out of it. I'll give you time. I'll support you guys until then. You just do what you need to do to build it. And in my mind, at this point, I thought, okay, she'll probably return the favor. No. No. I needed to find money. I need to find more work. I need to stop leeching off of her. What the fuck? What happened? I thought that when we were building a passion project, that we would give each other the time to do so. That we would help each other. I propped you up so you could grow into something that you enjoy. Why wouldn't you do the same for me? And that was the source of endless arguments between us. And when it comes down to it, I think that she wasn't malicious. She just never thought ahead on any of it. The fact that I flew to the other side of the planet, that I was making, with no better terms, fucking fat stacks at the time and blowing it all on her family. She was all fine with that. That was me sacrificing for her. But she wasn't comfortable with the other side of that coin. So something there was failing. In this is the part where all of the context meets together. In early December last year, about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months, yeah, about 2 months now. 2 months ago, there was a situation. You know what? No, I need to add a little more context here. We'll backtrack about 3-4 months. 3 or 4 months ago, Lux came to me and said that she needed a hobby, that she was tired of just drawing all the time, how she wanted a hobby that she wanted to do on her own, and she wanted to get back into RP. And with the added context of what happened before with us, I was on edge with it. I told her, okay, that's fine. You do you. Just have fun. And she told me that she actually wanted to do ERP as a hobby. And obviously, I was not comfortable with this. I told her that due to what happened before, that I really wasn't comfortable with it. She told me that I should join in as well and be a part of it. And I told her that I wasn't comfortable with me doing it either, especially with what happened before, where I fucked up. It's tainted for me. I don't think I could ever do that again. And I wasn't comfortable with her doing it either. But she was upset because she needed a hobby and it was something she enjoyed doing. And for some fucking reason, I do everything I can to find middle ground. So I said, okay, let's lay down some ground rules. You're allowed to do whatever you want here under 2 rules. Rule number 1 is that none of it goes out of character. You can do whatever you want in character, RP, ERP, feel free. Just don't take it out of character. I know firsthand how that goes. Rule number 2 is be transparent. If I'm going to go through and see some of it, then just let me go through and see some of it. Keep it an open book. You know? Don't close it all out when I walk in the room. Don't give me anxiety and keep me up at night thinking about it. Be an open book. Keep it in character. Those were my 2 rules. And I said, okay, have fun. And I left it at that. And I didn't even take the second rule into account. I didn't even check on it. It was whatever. I trusted her. It had been years since all of that shit had happened. We're better now. Then an incident happened around the start of December. And I'm trying to think of a way to say this without throwing somebody under the bus who really doesn't deserve it. There's been an ongoing misunderstanding with me and the community. We've talked a lot about, of course, we're in an adult group. We talk about kinks and things a lot. And I've talked about NTR a few times, and people don't really understand where I stand on it. I'm not a cuck. That's not my thing. My whole thing was the idea of having something that somebody else wanted. So, for example, if I had Lux while her chat was thirsting over her, that's what I was into. I have something that other people want. But no matter how many times I would explain it to people, I don't know, there was still some misunderstanding. And at one point, it got to where one of Lux's friends sent her nudes. A female, whatever. We'd talked about it a few times. Lux denies it, but I'm like 90% sure she's at least bi-curious. She's asked me over and over again. That day, she had asked me if I would ever be comfortable with her experimenting with another woman. And I told her, maybe if I'm there. Maybe if I'm a part of it, then sure. Otherwise, I don't think I'd be comfortable with that. I'd consider that cheating. And she said okay and went on. That very same day, on stream, in front of the fucking community, she got nudes from one of her friends and was going off about it in the chat. In front of everybody. So fucking egg on my face, right? Fuck me. So I bring it up with them afterwards and I talk about it. And I make it clear, fuck no. Don't you fucking do that. And Lux knew better. That fucking day we had talked about it. She knew better than that. So, of course, we got into an argument about it. And in the argument, I said, well, okay, her whole argument was that she didn't know that was bad. She thought that was just the thing friends do. Just send explicit nudes to each other. And I said, no, what kind of fucking friends do that? I'm not sending nudes to my friends. Are you? That's not a normal thing. And she was trying to convince me that, yeah, that's just a thing friends do. And I felt like I was being gaslighted. So I told her, okay, what else do you think friends do? For the first time, I wanted to enact that second rule on the RP account and see what she had been saying. Because if she thought that was just a friend thing, then how the fuck would she understand to follow the rules? Right? So I go through it, and I find messages that she'd been talking to with a guy out of character, of course. Him telling her how cute she is, how lucky he is to be talking to her, just obviously flirting with her, and her just brushing it off. And I told her, don't you think this is something that I would want to know about? Our rules were really fucking simple, that if this sort of thing happened, that you would cut it off right there. That you wouldn't let it get to this. And if it did get to this, you would cut it and talk to me. And you did neither of those. You kept it going. So that became another argument. And I had another depressive episode with everything coming back. And she laid down on the bed next to me and hugged me while I was crying. And I told her that I don't want to do all of that. I want things to be right between us. And that I would forgive her if she would just be clean with me. Just be honest with me. Just talk to me about these things. I don't know why the fuck I forgive all of these people. And she told me that, yeah, she'd be honest with me from now on. And in proving that, she told me that there was another message that she had talked with another guy with a similar outcome. But it got to the point where she felt so guilty about it, she deleted all of it. All of it was gone. And again, all I had to work with were her words on it. I'm racked with anxiety. I don't know what to believe. I will never know if that was the extent of it. I have no way of ever knowing other than just trusting her word on it. And I told her, specifically how bad that fucks with me. How I stay awake sometimes not knowing what could be out there that I don't know and that I'll never know. And that all I can do is trust her. Which I did. And I said, this is just something I'm going to have to live with now. But I want to trust you. Just keep being honest with me. And just let me be able to trust you. She'd been drinking a lot at this point. She was drinking a ton. It got so bad that other Sinsin members were messaging me to talk to me about her drinking. She had a genuine problem at this point. And I thought, yeah, I mean, fuck. With everything happening, shit, I don't blame her. I'll take care of her, though. So when she would get drunk to the point that she couldn't walk, I'd carry her to the bathroom and hold her hair while she puked. I'd make sure she got to bed safe. There was one time she slipped, hit her head on the fridge. I had to take care of her, make sure she was okay. Hold the bag for her so she could puke. It was a lot. And she had a group of friends. And you know what? Fuck you guys. Fuck you. Inky, Pen, if you're listening, burn in fucking hell. She had a group of friends that she would routinely, always, like every day for hours on end, be on call with. And she would drink with them all the time, including Inky, Pen, and another artist named Arkbun. And you know what? That's the guy. Another artist named Arkbun. Those four would play games, drink all day, and then at the end of it, while she's fucking blitzed, I would take care of her. One of these days, she gets extremely drunk. I help her puke. I help get her to bed. It's late. She doesn't say anything to me. She doesn't thank me. No, I love you. Just bed. And I thought, okay, she's drunk. Whatever. She's safe. She's not hitting her head on anything. This is fine. This is okay. She was so drunk. Yeah, that's what it is, Chaos. She was so drunk that she left her computer on. Part of the trust was that I never asked for her passwords. Her phone, her Discord account, her computer, those are private. I trust her. I don't want her passwords. I don't have them. But she was so drunk, she forgot to turn her computer off. So I see the light in her office, I go in there, and I just have the worst feeling imaginable. So I pop open her Discord DMs, and I see everything that had been happening. The fact that she had literally 2 minutes ago been spamming I love you, 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 I love you so much in Arkbun's DMs. Now that she was drunk and about to go to bed. About the sleep calls that they'd been having while I was asleep. Where they'd wake up and talk about whether she was making cute or lewd noises in her sleep. The fact that Ark had talked about how he had helped a girl cheat on her boyfriend in the past, but it was okay because he was a piece of shit. All of this happening right in front of Pen and Inky. I thought I was friends with Pen. I genuinely thought we were friends. And I don't know, maybe I'm the weird one. Seeing this kind of weird fucking behavior, you would probably tell your friend if that was happening, right? Am I fucking insane? But no, they were fine with it. Because I don't know, I'm a piece of shit. And she deserved the depressed e-boy arc bun instead. I don't know. So, oh fuck, no, actually, fuck me, I forgot. After the whole thing with me finding the RP accounts DMs, we needed help. We needed genuine help. So we came up with the idea that we needed to talk to people. We needed to talk about these things with other people to get some other input without hurting each other. So we would each choose one person, one of our friends, that wasn't exactly friends with the other. Because, you know, healthy relationships, you can have your own friends. You don't have to be friends with all of your significant other's friends. We would choose one friend that wasn't a friend with the other and talk to them. We'd be open about everything. We'd be honest. We'd get some input. We'd get some help. I'm not going to say who I talked to, obviously, because they have been a fucking godsend. Holy fucking shit. They have talked me out of so much over these past 2 months. And of course, she chose Ark. So, of course, I was the piece of shit boyfriend that he would help her cheat on. So we called it a break. After almost 11 years together, we called it a break. And I found in her DMs that she was already setting up a marriage agreement. Like, haha, wouldn't it be so funny if in 3 years, if we're both single, if we just, you know, got married and you moved over here? Or hell, maybe I'll move over to you. 11 fucking years. 11 years. Just pissed down the drain. And her reasoning to me is that she fell out of love with me about 2-3 years ago. Don't know why. She doesn't know why. She just did. She didn't tell me. We didn't talk about it. We didn't discuss it. We didn't get therapy. We didn't seek counseling. She just, whatever. For anywhere from 2 to 3 years, like that. So fuck me, right? I'm sitting here on the other side of the planet with a family that wants me dead back where I was born. A decade-long relationship blown to fucking smithereens here. And not a fucking penny to my name. Because I gave that up. For her sake. I gave up my independence. I don't know what the next step is. I'm probably not going to be coming back around again. I can't. She has talked to her mom and her brother, her mom that she moved back in with us a few weeks ago, and they've agreed to deport me. Just wash their hands of me. Throw me back to Florida with Nothing but the shirt on my back. No friends, no family, no job. Just get off at the airport. Fucking good luck, dumbass. And she has already found her new boyfriend. A guy, funny enough, not Ark. A guy that she went to school with, who she lied to me about when she went to that anime convention in December and gave me COVID when she came home. Said that she had just gone with Inky, and turns out she had met with a guy I guess she crushed on in high school. So I found that out recently. After, I'm still recovering from the fucking COVID. I'm really sorry to bring it all up. Fuck. This has been a living nightmare for 2 months now. And today she came home from her brother's and told me that they have decided they're gonna deport me. I don't want to go to some third world prison and sit there in the fucking dirt and wait to get thrown off into the fucking streets. After everything I've done for 11 years. Everything I've put my everything into for 11 years. I'm not coming back to this channel, so fuck it. If Twitch bans me, it bans me. I'm not going back. I'm genuinely not going back. They're not... If they fly me back, they're gonna fly me back in a box. Everything's fucked. And it's not even about the support. Guys, I can't thank you enough for even listening to me. But it's not about that. What do I have? After all of this that has been happening for these past 2 months, I've done everything I can to get my shit together. I told myself I need to man the fuck up and take care of it. And fuck it. I said, why not? I'll try going on a date and see what happens. I went on two. And both times, I couldn't stop thinking, what the fuck do they want from me? Why are they here with me? Why did they choose to sit here with me? What do they want from me? I'm so fucking paranoid. I am so fucked. And I know I'm wrong. And I know that it's not right. But it's just there. And that's just something I have now. There's a reason I'm sitting here talking about it today. Again, I tried to meet a fucking compromise. I told her, look, I need 1 year. Give me 1 year to get my shit together. I'm gonna go hard into my streaming. I'm gonna go hard into my VTubing. All of this shit gets bottled, put on the shelf. I'll deal with it later. Fuck it. I don't have time to deal with it now. Give me 1 year to build myself up to be sustainable again, that I can take care of myself.